Now, there's a quiet pressure many parents feel when teaching their child to read. It generally springs from having fallen into the comparison trap. Now, you hear about another child who already knows all their letters. How about that 2-year-old reading savant on YouTube? Or maybe it's a checklist that has you convinced your child has fallen so far behind they will need to master dozens of skills in record time or they're lost forever. And naturally, a loving parent gives in to the pressure and thinks, well, maybe we need to move faster. So lessons speed up. More letters are introduced. Practice increases. Progress should improve. But something frightfully unexpected often happens instead. Reading becomes harder. Children hesitate more. Confidence drops, and parents begin wondering why more effort seems to produce less progress. Now today, I want to talk about why teaching letters too quickly can actually slow reading development, and why slowing down often helps children move forward faster. See, parents accelerate instruction for very understandable reasons. You want to help, you want your child to succeed, and you want to prevent struggle later on. Moving quickly feels proactive, it feels supportive, but early reading development doesn't respond well to speed alone. Because learning letters is not simply about collecting information. It's about building a coordinated system inside the brain. And children can appear to learn letters quickly. They may recognize shapes, name letters confidently, even recalling sounds with a proficiency that really feels hopeful. But recognition is not mastery. And true mastery is achieved when the brain retrieves sounds automatically during reading without hesitation. This level of automation requires repetition over time. When new letters arrive before earlier ones are automatic, cognitive load increases dramatically, and the brain begins juggling unfinished learning. So years ago, I worked in a very posh kindergarten in Shanghai. And for months, the management kept talking about this huge grand music recital that the school was putting on for a bunch of bigwigs at the end of the year. And they kept adding songs and lyrics that my 4-year-old students had to memorize and sing. They barely got through one song and one mastered, and then they kept adding more and more. They couldn't keep up. I couldn't keep up. And lo and behold, there was CNN China filming this elaborate event on live television, hundreds of thousands of people watching, and my kids bombed. I wonder why. See, beginner readers experience something similar, minus being filmed by a major network studio. Each new letter adds a visual memory, a sound association, a motor response, and a blending demand. Too many new elements introduced too quickly compete for attention. So instead of strengthening pathways, learning becomes fragile. It starts to feel like a very tall house of cards. Children may know letters individually, but struggle to use them together. And just like that, confidence comes crashing down at any moment. Parents often notice a puzzling pattern. Early lessons move smoothly, then reading progress slows unexpectedly. This slowdown isn't regression, it's overload. The brain pauses forward movement while attempting to stabilize earlier learning. Now, children may forget familiar sounds, hesitate more frequently, and avoid reading attempts. Now, these behaviors are protective responses, not signs of inability. This stage carries emotional consequences. Children begin associating reading with uncertainty. They sense increasing difficulty. Now, effort rises while success decreases, and motivation quickly fades. Now, many children who later describe reading as hard experienced instruction that moves slightly faster than their developing system could confidently manage. See, confidence grows from successful repetition, not rapid exposure. So slower instruction often appears deceptively simple. There's fewer letters introduced, more repetition, frequent success. Parents sometimes worry that progress looks minimal, but internally, something powerful is happening. Neural pathways strengthen, sound retrieval speeds up, blending becomes smoother. It starts to become automatic. And this is a hidden component that fuels true reading fluency. Children persist longer when success feels achievable. Repeated successful reading attempts signal safety to the brain. Safety allows attention. Attention allows learning. Ironically, slowing instruction often produces long-term progress because fewer corrections are needed later. The foundation becomes stable. Rather than counting how many letters your child knows, watch for these indicators: that they recall sounds easily, they attempt to blend willingly, they approach reading without hesitance. Now, they recover quickly after mistakes. That's another one. These signs suggest that learning pace matches developmental readiness. Progress may look calm, and calm learning is usually effective learning. One of the most important reassurances I could offer parents is this: reading development, it's not a race. More is not better. Children who move steadily often become the most confident readers. Speed during instruction matters far less than stability. Now, you are not falling behind by moving thoughtfully. You are building durability. And remember that when their reading suddenly looks effortless, and it will, that effortlessness was earned slowly. We talked about how this might have started when you compared your child to others, where they might have fallen behind. So this tells me you're conscientious, you're caring, and motivated enough to want to know where your child is at right now. And maybe they are right where they should be. Maybe someone has convinced you otherwise, and now you're a little worried. So I would love to help you cut through all the noise and confusion and give you a chance to assess your child's current reading abilities with a free reading assessment designed to guide you step by step and help you gain true clarity, peace of mind, and a chance to plan ahead properly and teach with renewed joy and confidence. So the link is in the description below. In the meantime, remember to stay wonderful, and I'll see you in the next video.